No. I am little bit fast, okay? Little bit. I'm telling you, not fast. I will not repeat. Only for this one, okay? Fine. Now what happens? What we have done is about the audit strategy, audit planning. Is it right? Now when you do the things, documentation is nothing but very simple. Don't waste. We are not wasting time. Everything should be in writing, as simple as that. Is it right? Documentation is the most important. They will ask you what is the importance of documentation. Is it right? What are the different types of documentation? Is it right? How people will take the notes. What is the concept of working notes? Okay, working papers are very important. What are the permanent file and what is the temporary file? Okay, what is the memorandum of association? What is the articles of association? Not they will not go that much in detail. Very simple. Because why I'm saying like this? With all the question papers, I'm just revising you the question papers for almost from 2005. Okay, 2005 till date, they will not ask that much in detail. Okay, but we need little bit on that. Whenever you are talking in terms of the strategy and the planning, is it right? There should be, what we have to do, we have to write, we have to take the notes. Is it right? We have to take the notes and it has to be updated. Is it? It has to be updated and changed as it is needed. For example, materiality of the financial statements. What are the, because why we are doing this is we want to make sure that we can depend on something which we are writing. Apart from that, why people prefer documentation? Is it right? Because as an audit, we will work as a team. We will not work as individuals. Okay, today I will be there, tomorrow I will not be there, but somebody has to carry forward the things. When somebody has to carry forward the things, it has to be in the black and white, so that there should be a proper reference. Is it? That is what it is. As well as documenting the changes themselves. The reasons of any changes should also be documented. Means if what you are doing, you are making some updating. Is it? You are updating the things, or you are making some modifications. Is it? You are making some modification. Immediately you have to give the reasons for modifications, all those things. Is it? Reason for any changes. Fine. This is what it says. Now there are two things. One is interim audit, one is final audit. Okay. This is very important. They will ask you this question for, see the things, 3 marks. Only for 3 marks. I am telling you, you refer in the question papers for the last almost so many years, every alternate exam they will have this. They will not ask more than 3 marks. What is the interim audit? What is the final audit? See, it is very common to carry out. Interim audit is nothing but a continuous audit. Is that you are doing? You cannot say that I will do the audit only at once. See, when you are talking about the final audit, is that final audit is very simple. It only talks about signatures. As simple as that. Nothing is going to happen in the final audit. Are you thinking that from 31st December till 30th April, they will do each and everything? No. It is only the trust. Very simple. Is that your experience, if you find you are doing the audit, within a split of second, you can identify what's happening in the company. Whether the company is doing fine or not. Documentation. Is it right? There is what is the difference between a interim audit and final audit? Interim audit usually occurs partway during the period. Being partway means it will start middle of the year, somewhere. Is it? Middle of the year, somewhere down the line. Is it right? And it will be run through till the final audit till 31st December. What is the purpose of interim audit? Remember this, memorize this. Is it? What is the difference between an interim audit? The purpose of interim is to carry out the procedures. Now we are very much going into detail. Procedures means you have to go through stage by stage. Is that you are talking about the sales? You have what is the audit procedure for sales? You have to take the invoice. You have to take the client is there. Is that you first you have to identify the products, which product we have to place the order. Then you should identify the registered clients, whether they have registered in the list or not. Then you have to send the invoice. Is that once you are sending the invoice, then you will receive the goods. When you are sending the if it is sales, is it right? It will be sales. When you are sending the goods, they will receive it. They will receive it and they will pay us back. Is it right? When they pay us back, it is going to be accounted in the bank or not. And in the end, there will be a reconciliation. Understand? If you follow this stage by stage process, it is nothing but a simple concept of audit procedure. Audit procedure will be there for every other element. Okay, what we are saying, the interim audit talks about the procedures that is going to take difficult to perform in the year end, because when you are talking about the procedures, it will take time. Understand? It will take time. We will do this, very interesting, and we can score marks easily on that. Okay, that is the easy scoring marks. What is the audit procedures for sales? What is the audit procedure for purchases? What is the audit procedure for the inventory? Is that every way there is a procedure. In the interim audit, we do audit procedures, whereas in the final audit, we cannot do any audit procedure. It means in the interim audit, we can go in detail, whereas in the final audit, the message is very simple. In the final audit, we cannot go in detail. The final audit usually happens after the year end, after 31st December. Is that the final audit happens after 31st December, whereas the interim audit will happen before 31st December. Is it? So what they will do? The things. Interim audit, they will assess the risk. Is it right? They will first and foremost, what they will do, they will assess the risk. Risk assessment will be there. Is it right? When you are talking about the risk, they identify, as simple as that. Is that? Identify the risk as such. How they will identify? Various different ways. Is it right? They will have a documentation of internal controls. Is that the most important thing? They will see what? They will see the manuals. Is it? They will see the manuals. Manuals are very important. Whether you are writing down each and everything, who is responsible. Documentation of internal control means who is responsible for preparing, who is responsible for verifying, is that who is responsible for receiving, is that who is responsible for approval, is that all these things has to be very, very clearly stated in the documentation. That is the internal controls. Is that what we'll do? We'll not only see the thing, we will have controls, but what we will do, we will test the controls. What is the test of controls? To know that the controls are effective or not. Things are right. You are saying that yes, the one person will prepare, one person will verify, one person will receive, one person will approve. Everything is there on the paper. But what happens? As an auditor, you want to test whether these are practically applying or not. That's very, very important. They will have the test, they will make you a question on control, and they will have a test of controls. It means you have to inspect what you are doing. If you are talking about the test of controls, in test of controls, what you will do? You will inspect. Isn't it? You will observe. Is that you will inspect, you will observe, you will ensure that things are as per the requirements. These are the auditing words. Make it sure you just use these words whenever you are writing the relevant. I will tell you where we are going to use it. Is it? You will verify. Is it right? you will assure, is it? You will, these are the things you will examine, is it right? These are the things you will use as and when it is needed. Okay. Now what is that control? Controls are, it is there on the paper, but test of controls are whether whatever is there on the paper, you will want to experience that whether the controls are effective or not. That is the difference between controls and test of controls. Then what we will do in the interim audit, substantive audit procedure. In the examination you will have one question on this. Substantive audit procedure means you are talking in terms of what? Assume you are talking in terms of receivables. Is it? Assume you are talking about receivables. Now you will say that, you will see first and foremost, you are not going to check, is it right? You will verify, is it right? You will do reconciliation, is it right? You will do a reconciliation. What you will do, you will see what is happened in the prior year and what happens in the current year, whether there is any difference in the previous year and the current year. Just remember this, though don't go in detail. I will take care of. We will have lot of 2 lectures are there on this. Is that we will, as and when it happens, we are going to have these are called as substantive procedures. Substantive procedures are nothing but the procedures which are going to be done in detail. If the risk is high, is that? If the risk is high, is that? Or the risk is low. If the risk is low, you will do what? You will do restricted substantive procedures. Is it? You will do restricted substantive. This is what we have done in that table. If the risk is high, is it right? If the risk is high, what you will do? You will do a detailed substantive procedures. Is it right? Detailed substantive procedure. We will do this. Is it right? These are the things what we are happening in the interim audit. Identify issues that may have impact on the amount of type of work. Is it? Definitely. What happens? See the thing. If interim audit, is it right? Interim audit is satisfactory. Is it right? Is satisfactory. What will happen? The final audit, the work will be less. Is it right? Work will be less. That is the reason. And what we are doing, we have learned in the same lecture when you are talking about the planning. Is it right? What the rule says that whenever there are any errors, is it right? Any misstatements, is it? Any misstatements, these has to be corrected. This has to be corrected in a timely manner. Is it? This has to be corrected in a timely manner. That is the reason. Interim audit, you will do the job in a very cool way. Is it right? Interim audit, you will do it in a very cool way. Whereas in the final audit, things are very stressed out. So that is the reason. If anybody working in the audit firm, is it anybody working in the audit firm, they will make it very clear that they will not give holidays from 31st December till 30th April. Is it right? That is what the interim audit talks about. What is the final audit? Final audit says that now wherever you have to reassure, is it right? Wherever you are going to have a reassure, means wherever you find that there is a doubt, okay? Wherever you find there is a doubt, we will do substantive procedure, detailed substantive procedure for anything. There is one area. So assume there is a risk misstatement is high in receivables. Then you will do substantive procedures in receivables. You will go in detail. You will not going to verify from one perspective, but you will verify from multiple perspectives. In other words, what is the substantive procedures? you are going to verify, is it right? From verify the same thing from multiple point of view. Cross-checking, as simple as that, is it right? Multiple point of view. So from this angle, from that way, from that side, with various different books. If there is an error, you can trace it out immediately. Is it right? That is the substantive procedures as such. Just give me time. I am here to help you out in that. Now, we will take into consideration what third party. I will complete this slide and we will have break for prayers. Third party confirmations. What is the third party confirmations? See, we are having payables. Is that you have to pay to different people? Is it right? When you have to pay for different payables, is it the vendors and suppliers? Is it right? The suppliers and our own. Is it right? The suppliers and the client. Is it right? Amounts. Is it right? Balances. I will not use the word balances should be matched. Should be matched. That is the third party confirmation. Is it right? Means in my account, if I am having 20,000, in the vendor account also it should be 20,000 only. I will get confirmation from the third parties. Apart from that, what is the third parties? The bank balances. You know, yesterday I told you the bank balances, we have to get the confirmation from the banks with the permission of the client. Is it right? With the permission of the client. That is the third party. Is it right? Sometimes what will happen? You will have inventory. Inventory will be there in other places. Is it right? Then in that case also the auditor has to get the confirmation from that third party. Is it right? You, in the similar way, you have the receivables. Is it? If we have we have to receive, somebody has to, for something payables and we are receivables. Both the balances should match. Is it right? Now, what are the things we are talking about? We are talking in terms of the suppliers. We are talking in terms of the bank balances. We are talking in terms of inventory, and we are talking in terms of receivables. Fine. These are the things. Now, that is the third party confirm. Keep it in mind. If you understand this, the next few lectures will be very easy for us. On your fingertips you can do. You will have analytical procedures. Is it? What happens? Always keep it in mind. Prior year and current year. Is it? Last year and this year. That's the most important thing we are doing. Is that whenever you will have any question, any doubt in your mind, is it that you will see what is the last year sales and what is the this year sales. There not be that much drastic change. Marginal increase will be there. Is it right? You will not have an extraordinary increase. The moment there is a difference, you will analyze. You will always make it a point. What is a prior year receivables and this year receivables? Prior year sales, this year sales. Prior year payables, this year payables. Is it right? That is a simple way of having an analytical skills. Now, what is the subsequent events reviews? Is that something happens? Is that after break I will tell you. Something happens after 31st December. Is that something happens after 31st December? See, you have the margin till auditor is signing from till 30th April. Is it right? If there is any subsequent reviews are there, that will be done in the final audit. Okay. Most importantly, auditor will give a report whether the company is a going concern or not. Is it? What is the reason of this? Sometimes you are applying for loan will be rejected. Is it? Sometimes your sales will be less. Is it right? Sometimes what will happen? You will have the cash, but it will turn into what? It will turn to overdraft. Is it right? Definitely, these are the negative message response we are getting. The moment we get the negative message or response, definitely we will be in a doubt that can the company can continue in future or not. Auditor has to give in the final report, auditor has to state very clearly that it is a going concern. Get your point? That's what it says. We are getting a written representations, is it right, from the directors, from the charge with the governance. You find anything doubt, is it right? Sometimes you will discuss. You will say that to the directors, I want in writing. Directors will sometimes they will give. If they are giving, we are not having any issue as such. The problem comes when they are not giving us. Is it right? The auditors will stress. You know, the auditor will request. I will not use the word request. The auditor will put a point that they want to have a written representation from the directors, because the directors has to give that assurance. Some cases in the questions which we are going to discuss, directors are not giving the written representation. In that case, we have to modify the report. Got my point? We have to modify the report. Agreeing the financial statements to the accounting records. That is what we are saying. What we are talking about? We are talking about true and fair as such. Final audit concludes with the auditor issuing a report which contains the opinion expressed in the financial statements. Is it right? Final audit is nothing but the what they are going to issue in the financial statements as such. Is that the opinion? Is that reasonable assurance, positive assurance, negative assurance? Is it right? That is the difference between a interim audit and final audit. They will ask you 3 points. Okay, three differences. I am saying this, 3 differences only. What is the work done in the interim audit and what is the work done in the final audit?